welcome back to Camp Connect. I am so excited to have Lindsey Hafner here with us. And Lindsey, you have been involved with camp for, I think you told me 7 years. Tell me where all you worked.
I worked at Camp Mohaven in Ohio for 2 summers, and then I worked at Camp Wawona in beautiful Yosemite National Park in California, and then I worked at Camp Ivaden in Idaho, which I kind of consider my home camp for 4 summers.
All those years of camping, clearly it has made an impact on you. Why did you go back to camp summer after summer?
Um, I think that I kind of became addicted to all of the fun. I kept asking myself, I mean, you don't get paid much, but you do get paid to have fun with people, and that seemed like the best of every world I could think. So not only was it so much fun all the time, but I just really, really could invest in and get behind this just kind of ecosystem that camp is, that is purely relationship focused, that really prioritizes people. um, just this beautiful and robust emphasis on relationships is really what I came to love and respect and crave in my own life every summer. Between me and the kids, between me and other staff, between me and my director and my coworkers, it just a beautiful thing that I was so lucky to fall into for a while there.
It's amazing. I talk to so many people about why they come back to camp, and it's always about the relationships, it's about the life change. And so I'm excited to see that that's been the same for you. Um, you're currently serving where? What's your position?
So I'm a youth pastor in Redlands, California, um, which is an adorable little town, probably near Loma Linda, which you've probably heard of. But yeah, I hang out with the high schoolers a lot. I get to do really fun things, kind of like camp, where you're like, "Am I getting paid for this?" Oh yeah, I am. Like, I get to take kids out for burritos all the time, or I get to go on ski trips, or go up to the mountains and go hiking with them, and that's a work day for me. Obviously there's more intricate details than that, and there's a little more thought behind it as well, but that's kind of the gist of my job. So it's a lot of ways it's like camp, because it prioritizes fun and it prioritizes people, all in an effort to kind of see and understand Jesus more clearly.
And how did your work, both as a counselor and as a program director, how did that prepare you for the job that you're doing now?
Well, as a counselor, that's a pretty um, that's a pretty easy comparison, I would say, just because it teaches you how to deal with kids and how to hang out with kids, and how to be a mentor to them in a meaningful way. So being a counselor helped me so much in those ways, and then being programming director, which is probably more what I did at camp, because I did it for more summers. I think that as a program director, you really have to have the bottom line in your head at all moments, right? You have to understand, okay, so we're trying to connect campers to Jesus. Okay, so how are we doing that this summer? Okay, we're doing that through this theme, right? And we're trying to convey this truth about Jesus, to the kids. And everything you do, you are kind of this creative architect that designs programs, that designs discussion questions, that designs anything from like a mud run, something fun, the ski show, or the rodeo, or whatever, the big capture the flag game. All these things, though, like, you are designing those, and specifically so that kids can understand Jesus more clearly, and that they can have relationships with their counselors and with the staff and with each other that demonstrate Christ, and ultimately his deep desire to have a relationship with us. And so, kind of, I have found that really useful, just in my life in general, but especially my job, just kind of, um, I guess the ability to have that bottom line, right? And to design different ways to get to that bottom line. And to not be afraid to incorporate fun and games. It doesn't always have to be lectures, and in fact it rarely is with high
Yeah.
schoolers. I feel like
Yeah.
they respond better to capture the flag and ski trips and stuff like that. So if that makes any sense, I think that you really have to have your bottom line. You have to know what you're about. And in both cases, in camp and in youth pastoring, you are about Jesus, and you're ultimately about trying to show these kids that having a relationship with him is extremely worth it and very meaningful.
And so that summer job that you had for 7 years really was so much more. It was a proving ground for your own ministry. It was a tool that's you're still digging deep into as you're doing your ministry there in Redlands. That's amazing.
Mhm.
So if you were to talk with someone who was thinking about working at camp and thinking about all their options, well, maybe I need to go make more money, or maybe I need an internship. Why should you choose summer camp as your summer option?
Uh, and I have talked to many people and had this conversation with many people. I feel like if you work at camp, um, part of the great deal that camp gets is that you automatically become an accidental recruiter for everyone, whether you mean to or not, just because people who work at camp are camp people. And I totally understand that it's a financial burden at times, for sure, and I sympathize with that. I would say that it is a sacrifice in some ways financially. There's no getting around that, but the value that it brings to your life is unlike anything else. It's invaluable. And the relationships that you will make, the way that you will challenge yourself, but also have the most fun summer of your life, um, is it was always worth it for me in the end, to spend my summers that way. In fact, by the time that I, had to do a real job, and had to stop working at summer camp, it was tragic for me. It was really hard, to transition out of that, because it becomes such an important part of your life. And you will find, I hope that you will find, because I did, and I know so many people I worked with did, just this really profound purpose, that you wake up every day and you get to have fun, but you also have this purpose in the back of your mind every day. It's really, really an amazing experience to have.
Lindsey, thanks so much for joining us here on Camp Connect. I appreciate your dedication to camp ministry, and I appreciate the ministry that you're doing to this day. And God bless in your work there in Redlands. And thanks so much for being here.